Scorpio, my darlings, how are you doing? This is a gorgeous spread. You have been really bossy on the intro of this. As I've shuffled, I normally only pull about 5 cards, and in my head I hear you making demands about having a Celtic spread, and you want the cards this way and you want the cards that way. Like, Scorpio's being really demanding. It's a really attractive power seat. It's giving strong, independent, male or female in their power seat. I didn't listen to you, may I add, because a little bit of me wants to ground you and go, not everyone's going to listen. I'm not doing a Celtic spread today. The old me would have easily listened to you and gone, right, Scorpio's sending me demands, I best listen. But the energy I'm in now, I'm like, no, I'm going to stand my ground. This is how I'm doing the reading today. If you would like to receive it, then hit the like and subscribe. First things first, I want to tap into dragons and a dragon's egg. The power of the message today is about you birthing something brand new, something really rich and authentic that can only be seen as the golden egg. And it gives me Game of Thrones, it gives me Khaleesi, it gives me raising dragons, it gives me mythical, I want to say Earthman, Earthwoman, battle, desert, John Carter, all of those kind of Egyptian movies where weird cyber meets desert. I want to go Stargate. Interesting that we're starting with this. I've got a lot to discuss with you today, Scorpio, so stay with me, okay? But let me set the scene, let me set the stage for you. Earlier this week, I had a conversation with myself in the mind. And I said, why does the rest of humanity seem to be sleeping on the Egyptian era, the ancient eras where everything's really dusty, the Mandalorian Andor era where everything's really ancient and old, yet the technology is alien and advanced? Why is that a period of space and time we haven't yet determined, established, scaled in relation to Earth and where we're at now? And if we have, me, the hermitologist, I haven't scaled it. I haven't assessed if that's before Christ or after Christ. I know it's sci-fi, but do you know that most of the TV shows and movies made today are made by serious investors that come from higher order that are producing these psyops to prepare the population for the eventualities of these sci-fi realities? Yeah? Pseudo conspiracy fed to the people as such, because eventually these constructs will manifest, and it's best to prepare the population through an ideology of imagination, just in case that eventuality does happen during our epoch, during our time on Earth. Yeah? So I'm talking to someone straight away who is very mythical, very magical, very wizard-esque. Weird way to say that. But there's this element with you where I see like a sword strapped to your kind of body, ropes and strings, like the fashion. You're wearing robes and ropes and string, and you're giving George of the Jungle, Game of Thrones, the guy with the beard, Khaleesi's husband for a window of time, that kind of character. It's really ancient and rich and purposeful. My point with this story, before we dive into the tarot, is the point that There's a window of space and time that you are exposed to that not many other people are. And there's been a window of your life where this hasn't been deemed reality. This hasn't been deemed real. This isn't something you can manifest. You could be seen as a nutcase conspiracy theorist, a Looney Tune, a crazy character. You could stay by yourself quite frequently. Anyone who harvests dragon's eggs is a very mystical creature. You have powers beyond what the world has seen or knows to be true. I'll let you in on a little secret before we carry on. Many people on this planet, rare as fuck, that are activated, have gifts, superpowers. You see all these superpower movies? Another psyop, because these superpowers are real. You are one of these people who has superhuman abilities. Some people are full-blown telepathic. Some people gifted with telekinesis. Some people are gifted with super strength. You wouldn't believe some of the abilities people have in secret. You've seen the TV show Heroes. Psyop. Great. One of my favourite TV shows of all time. I absolutely love Hero. So, beautiful examples. A lot of TV references today. I'm going to give you some TV tarot, just for you to go and watch some shows after the fact and dive into that if you do have time. Okay, put them on your binge watch list on that moment of time where you just carve out to turn your brain off and watch shit on telly. If that's for you, then there'll be recommendations also linked in the description for you, okay? So let's go. We've set the scene and it's really, really interesting. And what's really got me going with this reading is we've had Five of Swords come out. And it's come out in the most unique way I've ever seen it, because it's come out with the golden egg, showing me that you're like this sorcerer, but you're also a warrior, and you're coming from ancient times, yeah? So your mind frame, your mission in life, your destiny, your life purpose is located in a realm that not many people have access to. You've been through the Stargate, metaphorically speaking. I do have Stargate content on this channel that you can dive into as well. You've travelled a lot spiritually, mentally, emotionally, through meditation. You glimpse life, you receive insight, a very telepathic or thought-provoking, thought-conjuring. You can conjure thought, but that's in relation to other. The way you help people conjure thought. You help people think. You activate people who are offline. You provide this source, right, where you can talk to anyone, and in a very small window of time, you can enable their brain to reach a certain kind of degree of freedom to the point where you can conjure up light source from them, for them, give them purpose and meaning and power in their lives. I love that ideology, and I'm glad that this is coming forward as your energy, because in that same breath, I really worry about the polarity of that. What if you weren't you? What if you were a bad person and you had that gift? I think about me and my gifts as clairvoyant and my gifts as a tarot reader and all the things I do. What if I was a dark soul? And this is why I do what I do every day and why I believe in what I believe in, because I worry, if I am truly who I believe I am in this lifetime, then there's more people with the capacity to do the things that I do, and the reality we live in is very different to what's presented on the surface. And if that's true, then all the light in me and all the desire and radical self-love in me to do these things this way and empower these people through these arts has got to have a polarity, an opposer from the dark force with such a desire, and that horrifies me too. So to tap into your gifts, first of You're kind on this channel, and actually I'm having a brainwave and an epiphany about the last few Scorpio readings I've done. I've connected with Scorpio on this channel a few times before, maybe a year or so ago, and in that reading I spoke about God in one of them, and I spoke about how powerful Scorpio is. I've got a very powerful Scorpio on the line, and I've also had a very powerful Gemini on the line before, with gifts I've never seen or felt or heard of before, but that's only come through a channeled message through the tarot and a reading like this. So welcome aboard, step in, take that as confirmation that you are who you think you are, and let's journey on, because you have cut through immaturity, lack, limitation. For a long time you could have been a witch, a wizard, an alchemist, but it was just there. It was a thing you did. Something changed in your life when this egg was first born, when this egg first hatched. Or I want to say the egg's not even cracked yet, but it does exist. It is in the nest. The egg is in the nest, yeah? I say that because not only are we going to talk about that egg, we need to talk about what is going on right now. Not only am I looking at you being discontent and bored, you outrightly fighting with the devil, and you having so much hope inside of you that you can overcome the pain and trauma from the past related to your heart chakra and emotional well-being. Yeah? Lackluster, limited, slow, stagnant, broken. In this image, I'm looking at a man in the center of the Fibonacci, in the center of a shell, yeah? And I always go to this conversation about the focal point of the Fibonacci. Sometimes in life, or most people in life, are walking up and down the spiral staircase. All day, every day, that's reality. There are a few people that will cling on to the pole in the middle of the staircase and slide down it, get stuck at the bottom, or climb up it, or hold on to it for dear life. Yeah? Others will find a fixed position in the center of the Fibonacci and just hold stable ground and watch the world pass them by. I study monotropics quite a lot. I've got deep belief in monotropism. That's the ability to view life from a kaleidoscopic view. There's always so much going on around us. Can we manage the chi, energy, vibration that is surrounding our circumference right now? Can we understand the circle and the semicircle and the visca piscis and the seed of life and the tree of life and the Merkle tree and all of these different ideologies of topology as we evolve and grow as human and engage and connect with other? Yeah? This is so metaphorical, so mystical, so ancient in ideology here that I'm connecting with someone who has the desire and the purpose to process so much more beyond this realm, beyond the current of life. But you get lost and you get stuck, and for a long window of time you were trapped just standing in the center of the Fibonacci. Everything's moving around you, go, go, go. But what's the point of moving? Because you go that way and you're in the rat race. You go that way and you're forced into this kind of coercion of behavior and lifestyle. That's not for you, and that's not for you. You don't want to go in reverse, and you don't want to go too fast forward. You don't want to be caught up in the stampede, so you hold a fixed position. Now that is changing. You have been activated through some kind of scripture, something you write, something you speak on. Could be like a white paper, or it could be a contract, could be a new document, or it could just be a tweet, it could just be a message, it could be how you express yourself communication wise. There is this cracking open of you when you have the ability to turn your ancient wisdom, gifts, ideologies, superpowers into beautiful pieces of scripture and written word. I'm not talking about long pieces of text. So the white paper is a beautiful ideology, but not what I'm referring to here. I'm talking about a tiny little script, a tiny little quote, a real beautiful summary. I'm looking at 5 words, 4 words, 6 words, 7 words, 9 words or less of scripture, sermon, word, poetry. In my head, I'm getting writer's block, and I'm fighting with myself in my head as I get it, because it's not sitting right in context of what writer's block means. But it's talking about the power of only a few words to sum up and encapsulate everything going on with you, or to send a message. Could be encrypted, ulterior motive I also get. So it's like red herrings, mystical. You're sending out red herrings or beacons of light source, or riddles and rhymes, but in a really unique, authentic way that is setting the stage for this cracking open. Yeah? Really gorgeous energy and really mythical at the same time. Let's keep going. This reading is very interesting and taking a very different shape. First things first, the most significant thing about you is the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. I'm only looking at these now. This is fascinating considering what I've just spoken to you about. Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, the Hierophant. That represents you incredibly well. The Hierophant is the morality. The Ace of Pentacles is the materialism. And the Swords is the intellect and the mind. That's how you're showing up. And the swords are out again with all that kind of cutting and running with the sword as if you're in battle. Really serious battle energy is what you represent. But it's such an internal emotional standpoint and such a warrior spirit. Your past lives seem very present in the now moment. Yeah? That's why I went on that Stargate analogy, and I didn't even dive in to the technology and mechanics of the Stargate. That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to talk about the Stargate itself, the designs, the symbols around the circle, how we go in and out of it, and what kind of mechanics and engineering that is, right? And what era that is, and where that came from in that period of space and time, and why everybody looks so old, but why they have these next level laser guns. Why on earth do we watch all of these shows like Mandalorian and Andor with these really ancient old clothes and homes, yet the technology is far beyond what we have on Earth now? So this is what, a future period of space and time? An older period of space and time? Where are we at in this epoch? Because it may sound unreal, but once again, the psyop is a real thing, and we are being programmed, and the technology that is coming is in line with all of this. And I have indeed seen the future, and I am very aware of what we all become in the future. We're all fighting black and white now, and I keep laughing in my head, which I shouldn't admit because it's not funny, because there is a real war going on. But everyone's gonna be brown. No, sorry, everyone's gonna be beige. Everyone's gonna be caramel nude. Yeah? We're all and that's why there's war, because everyone wants to keep the black and everyone wants to keep the right. They are the far left and right of colorism and humanity. But the future that I see is we're all heading towards the Andor Mandalorian reality, and we're all just going to be Egyptian beige anyway. We're in this lifetime, we're on trajectory for that. So I shouldn't laugh about it, because that's why the fights are brewing, because everyone's concerned. The caramel complexion the light brown, is going to make up the whole of the population, and we are going into that dust era. With advanced technology, alien tech. So I see the now moment is healing. But there is this decision that you have to make, and it appears to be something you have to do publicly. It's something that you have to speak on, address, break ties with, stand for, and it also represents you coming forward as the King of Wands, being in your power, owning every ounce of you. Because from the Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, the Hierophant, simply stunning energy of saying you are who you are, and you are grounded materially, intellectually, and you've got that spiritual wisdom with you. Very stoic, very powerful in your element. I keep getting masculine energy and I feel like I'm talking to a masculine, but then immediately I get this real amazing feminine presence. So a really powerful feminine. So I feel like I'm connecting with at least two people, and the Scorpio energy of it all is you're both incredibly powerful, male and female. Yeah? Then the Star, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Swords. That's you healing whilst having to make a really public decision, owning that and wielding that sword up high, cutting through whatever the limitation has been for you. Then that's leading to the King of Wands, the Two of Wands, and Judgment. You're going to have to make this decision and cut through this kind of bullshit energy of the past with passion and purpose. Judgment cards here too. So it's a rebirth cycle. It's you rising from the ashes. It's you becoming that absolute beacon of who you are. Then the Devil's out in reverse, only reverse card. Devil's out in the reverse, Ace of Cups and Seven of Pentacles. You know you don't have to rush through this cycle. You know that making a decision like this isn't gonna force major change in your reality. Because I feel the Chariot card's coming up next, the Four of Wands, Chariot, and the Sun to close us out. But before we get there, before the momentum picks up, yeah, once you make this decision based on the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands, which is that intellect and that passion driving you forward with that public Page of Wands, so that could be social media, that could be that writing, quote, scripture, your own doctrine, your own belief system, whatever you're building, your quotation, your spoken word, your truth, really summarized in a really beautiful, rich way, and that's just spiritually rich, I'm talking. Then the Judgment card, you're birthing that, and that is banishing the devil for good. So whatever was blocking you in the past, whatever's been that burden weighing on you for however long you've been standing in the middle of the Fibonacci without being able to move. Imagine you're just constantly glitching out, watching the skipping rope go round and round and round. Everyone's jumping in and out, doing double dutch, and you just can't get into the skipping rope. But you're destined to get in the skipping rope. You can't pass the test until you run and jump into the skipping rope and do at least 10 jumps and then run out the other side. And you're still there like, oh, damn, I can't get in. Damn, I can't get in. Damn, I can't get in. So it's a real struggle that you've been through to try and get here. And that's related to the dragon's egg. That's related to your past lives. That's related to what you believe your destiny is. That's related to what you believe your purpose is. Interesting cards I've got scattered here as well. Nine of Cups, the Hermit. Five of Cups, the Fool, the Temperance, and the Six of Wands. This was at the bottom of the deck, but as I looked at it, the story kind of played out and I couldn't ignore it. So they are the bottom of the deck cards. They're talking to me about your wish fulfillment in Hermit, and that Five of Cups that continues to follow you as you stand in the middle of the Fibonacci has gone from the Fool to the Temperance to the Six of Wands. So you've been accruing fulfillment through a really balanced, unique approach where you've gone really stoic and slow and stable with it, and you've taken calculated risk, purposeful moves, yeah, chess moves more than anything else. This isn't a rush or a unthought out project. This is very, very important to you. Devil in reverse, Ace of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. This is what you believe it is, okay? It's exactly what you believe it is. You're right. This is 100% confirmation. You do see, you do know exactly what you're doing and where you're going, and everything is working out beautifully in divine timing. All you have to do is commit to this. Commit to this change, commit to this shift, and this isn't anything you're unfamiliar with. This is just the new pace that you're at in life, yeah? Because your foresight's incredible. You see through this in and out. You're incredibly gifted. It's just your ability to go, right, I'm going to hop in the skipping rope now. And you want to make sure that the skipping rope is going to be at a stable pace that you can sustain for the rest of your life. Because you don't want to come out of flow state again. Yeah? You're about to move on the Fibonacci now. You've mastered it. Yeah? But you're not going to move too fast or too quickly because you don't want to spiral down again. Or go in reverse and go up again. The spiral goes up, the spiral goes down, the spiral goes up, the spiral goes down. You're trying to find the equilibrium between the two. That's why you've been so stable and grounded and just stoic in approach and just stayed where you're at. But once you commit, you now take the reins of this. Yin and yang, chariot, the white horse, the black horse, and you rein it in, and at the end of it, that's the sun card. This is the life that you've always wanted, everything you've ever fucking believed in your life, now available, now prepared to hatch. You knew this day was going to come, you know this is your destiny, you have all the affirmations, confirmation that you need to know exactly why you went through what you did over the last few years. It all makes sense now. And now it's just about stabilized effort. That's it. Simple as that. What a beautiful life. What a beautiful way to go. What a beautiful way to master reality. Much more studying for you, I see, and awakening to so many more concepts about space and time and your past lives and the visions that you get and the gifts that you do have and what that really means for people like you, people like us in the future, yeah? Check out hermitology.me, check out the press section, and look at the spiritual mental health reform. Because that's been on my mind this week as well, and I think that links in nicely with you and whatever your gifts are. Because it keeps coming up to me, and I keep going, how do we really, really ground the medium, the clairvoyant, the gifted, and make enough space for them to be who they are and it be recognized publicly, commercially? Not for advertisement, not for promotion, not for a DSM-5 TR diagnostic, but for liberation, for awakening, for improved consciousness, because I exist. And I don't want to be labelled or tarnished or put into a category that is unjust. Many, many lifetimes I have been a witch. Many, many lifetimes I have been burnt at the stake. Many other witches that live in the shadows would say, be grateful, hermitologist, that you can do what you do publicly now. Some countries in the world still have laws against witches. Some of what I do here today with you is forbidden around the world. So it must be powerful. It's illegal to do some of these things. Speak on God and the divine, or witchcraft, divination tools. In 2025, it's illegal in some places in the world. Wow. What does that say? What does that suggest? And what on earth do we need in this lifetime to create more leverage? It's always leverage. It's always a liberation. We don't need outright liberation, but we do need leverage. We do need to be able to step forward a little bit more with our truth, with who we are. Because I always think about, and I feel like this is my destiny, but we'll only know in time. I always think about my children, right? Which I don't have, but if I have children in the future, if I desire to have children in the future is the point, I want to feel like they're going to be free. I believe that the kind of person that I am and the kind of DNA I have, I've believed this since I was a child, that my children are going to be gifted more than me spiritually. And I don't know how that's going to manifest and what that's going to look like. It could come in many different forms, and I'm very aware of that. But if that is the truth, I'm going to need my children to be completely free, to be who they are cognitively. And whatever gifts they exude, whatever superpowers they carry, I'm one of those kind of people. I want my child to be who they are. And I don't want there to be any restraint. So this is a radical approach, right? Or radical to say this, but if my child can fly, I want my child to fly. If my child actually has the ability to be invisible, I want my child to be invisible. However my child comes out and whatever their gifts are, I want them to be that. Being invisible and flying, ridiculous in 2025 on Earth, right? But there are many variations of that ideology and many seeds and many different forms of DNA that are here in the now, and that will be evolving on this planet over the next 60 years, where humans will present with different gifts and abilities that we have not seen before. There are very interesting characters in Heroes, where humans on this planet do have a certain degree of superpowers, like in the TV series. Like the girl who can't be killed and can't be hurt and doesn't feel anything, and if she gets cut and bleeds, she'll just be sealed up again by her own DNA regenerating so fast, her cells will just regenerate and she'll be fine. There is a girl out there who has that gift and ability, who can't feel pain and will just immediately heal. Her body just does these things. They are case studies, and there are one-off case studies of many different abilities like this. And there are many, many children out there with these kinds of gifts. These gifts are rising over the next 60 years, and there will be more children like this, especially with the evolution of IVF and babies being born in test tubes, the trans movement and the biology. Although people are having surgery and changing their bodies to certain degrees, we are still now having the stories of the man who's giving birth, and there's transitions that have kind of happened, or half hormonal treatments, and those kind of DNA processes and those experimental experiences are creating newborn in new ways. I believe that this year there was a child also born, the oldest embryo ever used in history, I believe. Could be wrong, but a story like that I saw in the press. Made in a test tube from many, many moons ago, full term, came to birth, now a living newborn. Yeah? DNA's changing. Incredible. And we've got Siamese all over the place with these different cognitive capacities, twins doing exceptional things, family members having incredible insight, visions, epiphanies, clairvoyant experiences, telepathic knowing of their family members and others in serious incidents, witnessing a crash before it happened, knowing that someone's been stabbed or wounded in a way just through vision or thought or feeling alone, and them experiencing the wound. Lots of different things like that. So wherever you're at on the journey, whatever you're doing, I'm here with you in this conversation, because you're presenting with something powerful and unique, which has made you be the man or woman that you are today, because you registered difference at such a high degree, and you're very humble and honorable about honing your unique gifts, because you understand the risk that is posed against all of us that present this way, and what we've all been through in past lifetimes to be here now and present as much as we do. Yeah? I say that with a whole list of shows. Okay, so we're going to run through them, and they should probably be linked below if I've had the time. Avatar 1 and 2. Avatar 3 is either out or dropping in the next month or so. I cannot wait for that. Very, very telling. The psyops elements in Avatar, humongous. The wait for Avatar 1 to Avatar 2, really significant. That had to be the shift from Industry 4, formerly locked in. What a way we've got to Industry 4, and now we have Avatar 2 out, and then suddenly now we're ready for Avatar 3. That's Industry 4, and that's Industry 5, and that's real things happening. And we already have water cities like Lagos and places like that. It doesn't look the same, and it's not the same feeling. There are other places in the world like that, or we can go Bora Bora if we want to be classy, but there's places in the world where this Avatar ideology and the psyop of the show is integrated into real life. We can talk a lot more about simulation, tech, cyborg, synthetic humans, and where we're going over the next 60 years, because that is also a real thing, right? With that, I also got Fear the Walking Dead. I got that in relation to you. Great TV show, spin-off from Walking Dead. But I got that for you in relation to... maybe episode 1 and episode 2 would be enough for you. It takes you into a really interesting starting point of what life is like for us as the crumble begins, as we all try and grab our last bits, our family, our friends, stock up on a few foods in our bag. We don't know how long this apocalypse is going to last. We don't even really know what's going on. The state's not talking. Everyone in the now moment in the UK and the USA's had alarm alerts for a long time. UK's really pushing forward with the alarms, annually testing it as well. Emergency broadcast. If there's going to be something bad that goes down, we need to get you. We're changing digitally. We've seen the Obama produced movie with Julia Roberts with the world going off and the electric vehicles all driving all over the streets. Yeah, that was produced by Barack Obama, the president, who's had access to so much classified information. Of course, that's a psyop from Obama himself. Yeah, the Julia Roberts movie, I can't remember what it's called. Then we got Breaking Bad, right? That also came out, and it gave me you Breaking Bad habits. Breaking Bad is a classic TV series, one of the most famous. And what's amazing about it is the character that he has to play, the life that he has to live, the lies that he's had to tell, the character he has to take on. And I see that for you, male or female. I see the role you've had to play to get here, because being out as a witch in public isn't something you can just do. Yeah. And the last 2 kind of cards coming out, or 3 cards actually, is the Emperor's out. Yeah. And this is the movie Superfly. The latest Superfly. It only came out a few years ago, I think. I can't tell you what happened in it, but there's something about the power and character of the guy in Superfly, and then the power of the woman in Being Mary Jane. Both black movies, may I add, as well. So one's on BET, Being Mary Jane, where she puts post-it notes all over the wall and the mirror. It's a really empowering black TV show for a powerful black woman in entertainment and how she lives her life. I went for a phase of watching it as well. I really loved it. Really, really empowering, screaming female independence, right? That represents the 9 of Pentacles in this deck. Whereas the Emperor, Superfly, worth watching, another black show, it's the Emperor card. And the character in it, I think he's from Grownish. And in this character, he's got gorgeous, relaxed hair, and he plays a really powerful character, and it's really, really good. But I can't remember much about it. And all of that is wrapped in the Ace of Pentacles again, naked and afraid. You've been really, really vulnerable, and you've held integrity for a really, really long time. Yeah? Like in my head with this card as well, I'm getting like oak man, oak woman. Both woman and man on this card are naked. So I see woman and man here, woman and man here, and both of them are really, really vulnerable, really, really face on, really, really naked, really, really integritous, really, really taking risks, really, really breaking bad habits. And that's the Seven of Swords. So lying to yourself or lying to others, playing down reality, acting like things are okay when they're not. And then the fear inside of you. That I've spoken quite lengthy about all of these TV shows, only to truly hone in on the this fine line between reality and illusion, or delusion, what is real and what is illusion, right? But not only that, the veil is thinning, that ideology. What exists when the veil is gone? Really, really interesting energy. And it's like the all-seeing eye comes with this avatar card, because this card is just showing the avatar's eye and the power of what it means to see and be one. And that is where you're at now. You're embracing the all-seeing eye. However that represents to you, that's not even in the Illuminati style way you would assume it to be at all. But the all-seeing eye is the all-seeing eye. You have an eye. I have an eye. We all have an eye for something. Our eye is always skewed to what we want to see. We can look at the same thing and have completely different perspective on it. Witness statements, testimony. What did you see? What did you see? Write down a statement of what you saw. They're going to be slightly different. Although we all have eyes, we all see different. The all-seeing eye, yeah? We are all the all-seeing eye. But it's those that truly believe it and manifest in line with it, walk in tow with it, choose to examine it, self-actualize it, that become one with the source. Love and light.